couple of weeks ago, I decided I was going to switch to a flip phone to see what it was like. Just in case you haven't seen my last video, I decided that I was not happy with the way things are. And I know that none of us are happy with the way things are, but specifically, I just wasn't enjoying technology. That led me to kind of trying something else. So I decided to go with a very basic flip phone for 30 days to see what it's like. And I've learned some things about myself and also kind of about this world. So I just want to share that with you. Not having a overstimulating brick in my hand has made things nicer, and I do things with intention. Like, instead of flipping over my phone and checking Instagram or checking Facebook or any of the other major apps or news media thingies, whatever, I sit down at my computer ready to do the things that I want to do, and I give myself a time limit. So I get things done or I don't get things done, and things shift in priority, and I kind of feel like I function better that way. My behavior has changed. Knowing that I do not have a smartphone in my hand has actually made things more difficult, but actually more interesting, for me at least. I definitely was not a power user when it came to the phone. I wasn't somebody who was constantly posting and responding and liking and sharing. That's not who I am, but I was doing that a little bit. But I did feel a responsibility to do that more, and that responsibility has kind of gone away. I just do the things that I like, and now when I have my friends or creators that I do want to keep contact with or at least see what they're doing, I go to their pages directly, which is weird because social media is not set up to do that, but I do it anyway. And I like a couple of posts, I'll comment, I'll share, I'll do things with intention, and that is so much better. Now, I've always been pretty good about limiting my access. I always have tried to be mindful. There have been some mornings where I would wake up and I would just quickly check my phone. I would check for messages, I would check my emails, I would check social media, and sometimes that would be enough to kind of derail my day. And I kind of like the way things are right now. I can take my time and have breakfast, have some coffee, check in with my family, and, kind of just limit my access to Oasis, if you know what I mean. Now, I still seem to get messages from people who expect me to respond quickly. And for that, all I can really say is, I'm sorry. But the fear that I had was that I was going to miss something that was critical. It doesn't really exist, because if somebody needed to get a hold of me, they can text and wait for me to get back to them. Or they can call me and have an actual voice conversation, which seems to be not something anybody wants to do anymore. Also, going into this, I knew that I was going to be using T9 to communicate with people over text messages, and I kind of felt like that was going to be a lot easier than it actually is. Because when T9 was the rage and everybody was texting each other that way and making posts on social media by using T9, I was super great at it. Well, times have changed, and right now I am realizing that it's not convenient and it's not adequate, because my brain thinks a lot quicker than I can cycle through the letters and numbers. I've also realized that there are things that I am missing that I've used in my life and that I use in my life, and I'm happy to have them in my life. But with a flip phone, I don't have them, and it's been an inconvenience. The biggest thing being GPS map apps. In my modern life, the work that I do, or just who I am as a person, I've come to rely on the ability to find somebody with GPS, and that's really important. I actually kind of feel like that's a great part of technology. That's an advancement. I know it's got problems, but it's also kind of awesome. I also miss my notes program. I was always that person that if I had something that I had to, do or remember, I would whip open my notes program and I would write down a note. I know that I could carry a little notebook and a pen, and I tried to do that. I really, really did try to do that, but I am always leaving it somewhere. I have forgotten my little notebook at like 6 different places in the past couple weeks, and I don't even know how that is possible. So I miss my Notes app. I also miss some of the messaging aspects of social media, because that was a great way for people in the public to get a hold of me. And even though I am kind of happy that they can't get a hold of me right now, I do know just with the work and the things that I do, I'm going to need that again. So messaging apps is something I need. Also, I miss speech to text. I do. I miss having a full keyboard, a virtual keyboard. I miss those things because I was pretty efficient at it, and T9 just isn't working for me. I am nearing the end of my 30 days, and I can already tell you right now that I am not going to keep this phone. It's not working for me. It's fine. It works. It does text messages, and I have to do T9. It does work fine if someone was to call me, or if I wanted to call someone, that's fine, but that's about it. And it doesn't work for me. I want it to work for me so badly, but it just does not work for me. It's too limited. Now, if I could find something that was a little more modern but still had limitations, I would totally go for that. And doing a little research, I was able to find 2 really cool things that would definitely be what I want. However, there's issues with that. There is the Sunbeam. They have these Sunbeam Pros. They use messaging apps and all the things that I was missing, except for a keyboard. And there's this really cool one that's coming out soon, and it's called the Callback, and it's by Commodore. Yeah, the people who made the Commodore 64. And I would love those phones, but the biggest problem with that is both of those phones are between $300 and $400, and honestly, at this time, I just can't swing that. So it looks like I'm going back to my old iPhone. Kind of. Not actually, though. Yes, I am still going to use the physical iPhone. That was my old iPhone, but I have learned something awesome that pretty much all working iPhones have access to right now, and it's called Assistive Access. Have you heard of this? It's kind of great. With Assistive Access, I can choose the apps that I absolutely want to run and how I want them to run, which is pretty cool. And I know that this was made for younger people or the elderly so that they can't mess something up, so it's just super easy and intuitive. And it is very basic. I mean, look at this. It's very basic. Why Assistive Access is actually going to work for me, or at least I think why it's going to work for me, is because I can actually make it so that my phone just does the things that I need it to do and nothing else. Now, am I going to switch back to, searching and using the smartphone and all of its features? I don't want to. I don't think I do. I like using this stuff on my computer, and I think I'm going to follow that path. But I don't know. If there's things that I'm missing, please let me know, because there might be a smartphone or a dumb phone out there that it has everything that I want and nothing that I don't want. So you let me know if I miss something. I am going to try to do everything I can to use technology the way I want to use technology. Convenience itself has kind of made things not enjoyable for me. So I'm making things harder on myself on purpose, and I kind of like it that way. So I don't know if this has been helpful for you, but if it has, let me know. Thanks.